Ladies and gentlemen, this is the big one, the 1997 Mr. Olympia event. It was won, of course, by Dorian Yates, but a lot of people claim that Nasser El Sonbaty is the uncrowned Mr. Olympia. That year, he placed second. So I waited for quite a while to do this comparison, because, to be honest, if I do decide to pick Dorian at the end of the day, I am going to receive a lot of backlash and hate mail, but I built up a thick skin by now, and I think I can take it. I'm going to judge this one right down the middle, how I see fit. And there was a lot of pictures, including this one, that had Dorian way out angled, and for some reason there's a lot of the poses like that. And if you use those pictures, of course, Dorian's going to look half the size of Nasser. What I did was I cut them up and repositioned him there, and they are about the same size as far as their structure is concerned. Nasser, the advantage in the pecs, things of that nature. Let's have a closer shot, and when you do zoom in, you can see the lats. I mean, they're just enormous for Dorian Yates. So at first glance, you might think, oh, well, Dorian's winning this. But I like the ab separation more for Nasser El Sonbaty, and like I said, those pecs. And if you didn't notice, Dorian Yates is missing a bicep. That's a pretty important muscle, is it not? And Nasser El Sonbaty, biceps so full that it would blow your mind. So front relaxed position does go to Nasser. Unfortunately, this is the only rear relaxed comparison we have. And I watched the videos, things of that nature. Nasser El Sonbaty, he did have a decent back. I mean, for the 90s, the conditioning was good. But Dorian Yates, I mean, his conditioning was better than guys today. And he's twice as hard, twice as grainy. And when you look at the lat formation, I mean, come on. And his legs are just as good as Nasser's when you think about the calves, the quads, the hamstrings. So, symmetry round, much like I prefer, is kaput. Let's begin this one with a front double bicep pose, and this right out of the chute. Any Dorianite in the world, if you have some sort of argument, you got something to say to me, if you have some sort of argument about Dorian losing this one, come on, look at that arm. Not to mention, Nasser would be winning anyway when you look at the waistline and the lat difference. And look at the arms of Nasser. This is night-night, all she wrote, even if Dorian was in his prime. As always, I like to give you guys all the pictures that I can, a black and white one here, and this one really shows that arm of Dorian. This is bodybuilding, ladies and gentlemen, and I would be remiss to ignore something like that. But I would also be remiss, quite remiss, to ignore the fact that Dorian actually looks really good in this shot. When you look at the lats, the waistline, the legs, everything looks just premium. Better than Dorian, or better than Nasser El Sonbaty. But this time, in this comparison, Nasser is the one being out-angled. He's tilted thusly, takes away from the V-taper, things of that nature. So, come on, guys. This is an easy shot for Nasser El Sonbaty. Front lat spread. Now I can hear you Dorianites revving up those engines, ready to take a drive up to Canada, eh? And throw some eggs at that guy's house, eh? You better call AAA, though, because I'm here to tell you, Nasser is boxing with Dorian Yates in this front lat spread. Look at the width of Nasser El Sonbaty. Dorian has more substance to his lats. You can see they're more bulbous, I guess you could say. They wrap around. They are what you could say Dorian-esque lats would look like. Another one here, a very blurry picture. I didn't like to use a whole lot of these ones, but they are side by side on the stage, and you can see Dorian is a big chunk of a lad. There's a lot of pictures that have Nasser, like I said, out angling Dorian. But Dorian, like I said, he's a big dude. And those lats, I think he would get an edge in this pose. But kudos to Nasser El Sonbaty for boxing with this Dorian Yates. Do we have another one? Yes, I like this one here. This one really illustrates the strength of Dorian Yates. Those lats. I mean, if it's a double bicep, you're looking at what? The biceps. This is a front lat spread. If you just focus on the lats, it's a no-brainer. And I hear a lot of people going by one of those other pictures that has Dorian being out-angled. It's not the case. Dorian wins the front lat spread in 1997 against Nasser El Sonbaty. Side chest. This is a definite Nasser pose, for sure. This was never the best one for Dorian Yates. And I'm not arguing the fact that he probably has thinner skin, better conditioning. But look at Nasser. He is not soft by any means. I mean, he's rock hard. But it's the overall silhouette. Let's pan back and look at one of these blurry ones again and see what I mean. It's going to be hard for Dorian Yates, although I will say here in this one, Dorian is a big, thick, sturdy chunk of a lad, but nowhere near as big and as sturdy as Nasser. But, of course, we can take a look at the zoomed-in photo, and this one a lot of people go by, and it's not favoring Dorian Yates, or it wasn't in the side, or the size, rather. I sliced it up again, like I said, and repositioned it. But still, it's not good for Dorian. This is for sure a Nasser El Sonbaty pose. And I'm not ignoring the fact that Dorian's leg has much thinner skin, if you notice that. But zoom into the upper body, guys. For you Dorianites, he has a distended midsection, and Nasser has a more cut stomach. I mean, what do you want? What do you want, Dorianites? For goodness sakes, Dorian's losing the side chest pose. He's also losing the side tricep, Dorianites. Of course he is. This is not even a proper shot for Dorian Yates, and I see people using this in comparisons. Are you kidding me? This is an awesome angle for Nasser, so of course he's winning. Let's bring up a actual comparison, what it would look like between these two. And I believe, much like all of the other events that these two competed against each other, that Dorian Yates wins the side tricep. So, much like a lot of these matches, guys, the poses are basically the same for each match. Dorian's very hard to beat. Bring another one, the pan back one, and this one. Definitely, I don't see this one, because there's Dorianites, and there's always Dorianite haters for every stronghold or every popular thing. There's always haters, and there's Dorian haters. Take a look at this one, Dorian haters. Who's winning this side tricep? I'm sure they're going to use the washroom. Don't forget to have a protein shake. Either way, guys, this is a good matchup after all. I'm sure there's a lot of haters just towards the 1997 Dorian Yates. Take a look at his back. His back was more than decent. And this is another example of the cameraman out-angling Dorian Yates. And I showed this one on purpose. I'll show some more. But you can still clearly see in the glutes and the muscle separation in the back. They say it does, the pictures don't do him justice, but they do. You can see the thin skin. For an example of that, take a look at this close-up comparison. I mean, Nasser, if you were just walking by and seeing this guy, you would say he looks like an anatomy chart. You can see every one of the, you can even see his lower back muscles. You see that? And then Dorian Yates would show up and you'd be like, oh my soul, he has no skin. You can see everything. So Dorian Yates, I mean, he's basically the same shape, same size, muscle size. So he's clearly winning the rear lat spread. Another black and white one here. And this one actually favors Nasser and the hamstrings. He always had good hamstrings. But after seeing that last display, Dorian gets the rear lat. And when you look at the zoomed in photo of the rear double bi, it's the same story. Look at the lower back. It's quality. Even in the delt muscles. You see that? Dorian from the back, his delts are awesome. And he could not only box with anybody, but pretty much knock them out. And like I said, that hard graininess. Look at the glutes even. Hamstrings, though, I will say. Nasser, awesome. Another one here. And again, this is the same story. Look at the size of Dorian's traps. He's just a big beast man. But I have to use that word, remiss. Once again, I would be remiss to ignore Dorian's biceps. But take a look at his 1993, 95, whatever, his best years. You couldn't really see the biceps anyway. So really, does it play a part in this? And I am looking at this one as an objective observer, and I'm not focusing that much on the bicep if it doesn't play a part in the matchup. In shots like this, I don't notice a torn bicep, so it plays no part in this one. And I am looking at Nasser, and he does look good. But so does Dorian Yates, and I'm not sure exactly what it is on the score sheets, but this one could make or break this one, depending on which way I would lean. Take another shot here, and I don't know, guys. This is a close, very close call in the ab and thigh shot. I wish I could ask you guys to do a quick poll and then come back, like Bugs Bunny when he was getting the opera singer to sing, and then he ordered the headphones or the earmuffs. But anyway, look at that calf of Dorian. I didn't even notice that till now. Look at that. Could that be the deciding factor? I don't know, guys. In the ab and thigh, it could be slightly inconclusive. And this one doesn't really favor either. Although I will say, Dorian has a funny face in this. He looks like I said before, a hen woman, a lady of the night. Freshen your drink for you, governor. A little pickle in your juice. Anyway, British humor. But all jokes aside, I'm going to give Nasser a slight edge. I believe Dorian's midsection was a little distended. He had the conditioning, nice muscle separation, but slight distension I did notice. So Nasser, slight edge in the ab and thigh shot. But Dorian Yates still leads this competition, and there is no most muscular. Back then, they did not judge it, and it would have been an easy victory, just food for thought for Nasser El Sonbaty and a most muscular. But like I said, they did not count it. So, Dorian Yates is the winner? Well, depending, guys, on how much you focus on that torn bicep, in particularly in that front double bicep pose. And if he did get a political edge, then yes, he still did win mathematically. And I guess you can't really argue that one. Anyway, guys, I guess that is a slight inconclusive error in my voice. Dorian Yates, he is the 1997 Mr. Olympia champion. He won on points. They only focused on the arm in the front double bicep shot, and he would have lost. But that's one pose. Most of his other poses, in particular the back shots, were probably beating every other gentleman on the stage that night. So, did he deserve his final title in 1997? I don't know. I guess. Maybe Nasser El Sonbaty should have won. No, I can't leave it like that, guys. Dorian Yates wins with a slight edge. His conditioning was just too good. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Hit thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Have a good day.